Thomas, can you hear us now? I just want to check in to see if you're able to hear and respond to us.
It says on his thing he's still connecting, so he's probably just lagging a little bit with connection.
Copy. Awesome. I think that you're situated, Thomas. And Thomas, can you let us know if you are a first-time student with us or a current high school student?
Current high school student.
Wonderful. What high school are you from and what grade are you in?
Sure, high school senior.
Okay, so you're going to be coming in as a freshman with us next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. And you have not applied for fall 2020, correct?
In the process, but I don't know if it went through.
Okay. Do you mind, here, let me send you a quick, actually, Martine, can you reach out to him to see if his application went through? Because if it did go through, then you won't have to sit in our very exciting workshop, but you're more than welcome to stay and hang out with us if you would like. And I see we have another student that's joining us. Hello, hello. How do I pronounce your first name? I don't want to say it wrong. Oh, they left.
Oh, I was gonna say Ixta. Oh, we lost one.
We lost one. It's okay. Martine will still hang out with us. Okay, well, we're gonna get started in about 1 minute, so thank you for your patience.
David, do you mind putting up the sign up link whenever you get a chance in the chat?
David, I could do it. If I could do it. I have it.
Thank you, Myra. So Thomas and Valentina, if you didn't already sign up for today's workshop, if you guys could just make sure to go to the link that Myra will be putting up in the chat and just make sure you sign in for us.
Okay, so it is 4 o'clock and we do want to start on time. Well, hello, Miss Kayla. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, welcome to today's application workshop. We are just about to get started. Today's workshop's goal is to help you guys finish your application for fall 2020 for all of our new incoming students. So today we're excited to present with you on behalf of the outreach team. My name is Tam Contreras and I have with me my colleague, Monica.
Hi, everyone.
So today is a different workshop. It's going to be a hands-on workshop that will allow you to finish the application and follow along with us. We do have representatives here joining us as well that can help you with individual questions as you would like. But in order to get the best experience out of this workshop, we do encourage you to open another window so that as we present line by line, you can also go in and complete the application as well. So just open up another window and have our Zoom meeting on one side and your screen on the other side. And before we get started, I do want to show a short video about the benefits of joining Rio Hondo College's family. So I'm going to share my screen.
So thank you once again for those of you that are just joining us. Just a little reminder that today's workshop is for those students that still haven't submitted a fall 2020 application. I know we have some students that are still in high school that are planning on taking a free college class during the summer, so we can help you out with that application as well. At any point during this workshop, please make sure that you scroll down towards the bottom of your screen to where it says chat. And you can go ahead and feel free to type in any questions that you might have, and one of our outreach or Rio Hondo staff members will be able to answer your question. So please make sure you use that feature, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
So this workshop today is actually the last workshop in a series of our virtual open house that we had this week. So on Monday, we had a session about Rio Hondo Cares, which captured all of the great things about attending Rio Hondo in addition to the services we offered in light of having school closed. On Tuesday, we talked about financial aid, and on Wednesday, we talked about making transfer a reality, focusing on our transfer center services. So we have links to all of these workshops if you were not able to join us, and we can share them with you in the chat box below too, so that you can be able to view these whenever you would like. So today's application workshop, as Monica mentioned, is very hands-on. So we do want you to be able to finish the workshop by the end of today and submit your application successfully.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Tam mentioned earlier, so for those of you guys that might have missed out, it is hands-on. So what we ask for you to do is to open a different window with the Rio Hondo website, which we'll share in a minute. But you want to have those side by side so that you can see our screen, but also start your application on your own, okay? Again, use the chat feature if we're going too fast or if you have any questions, okay? So before we begin, there is some important information that you will need in order to successfully complete and submit your application. With the exception of one, which is letter E, I'll go over all of them in a minute, but if you know you have a social security number, so if you know you have one and you don't have it right this second, it is still possible to complete your application. We just ask that you not submit until you get that from your parents or whoever you need to get that from. Other than that, you will need to know your full legal name, your date of birth, a permanent address. You'll need to have your own personal email address. So not your high school email. If you're already a senior, we ask that you use a personal email address that you'll have access to after graduation. So again, if this applies to you, if you have a social security number, you'll eventually have to know that, along with your citizenship status. And if your parents were in the military, there are some questions regarding their status. So you may have to ask them for some information once we get to that part.
So in regards to the letter E, if you are a dual enrollment student, which I know one of you wanted to take some classes while you're still in high school, you do not need to put your social security number down, even if you have it. So that's one thing that you don't have to worry about because you will not get charged the tuition anyway. So we'll talk about that more in detail.
Okay, so in order to get started with the application, the very first thing we need to do is go to the Rio Hondo website, which you can see on our screen, which is www.riohondo.edu. Once you get to this website, you want to click where you see the red arrow where it says Become a Student, Apply Now. So make sure you click on that. Now, if this is your very first time applying to a community college, if you've never applied to community college before, you are going to click on Create an Account, and we are going to take you through every step in order to create your open CCC account. If you have applied to community college before, you are going to have to sign in with the username and password that you created when you first applied. If you don't remember or you're having trouble retrieving that username and password, please use the chat feature so that someone can help you out with that process. We are going to walk you through as if you're a brand new student who has never created an open CCC account, okay? Okay, so once you click on create an account, you're going to go ahead and click again on begin creating my account, which is the blue button towards the very bottom. And before we actually show you guys the screens, there are 3 sections or 3 pages to this portion. So just a really quick overview, your personal information, where it's going to ask you for your full legal name, your date of birth, and social security number if you have one. Again, if you're a dual enrollment student, you don't have to enter a social security number even if you do have one. Page 2 will ask you for your contact information, which consists of your email address, your telephone number, and a permanent address. And then the very last page will ask you about security and credentials. So what that means is that it will ask you to create a username and a password, a security PIN, along with security questions in case you ever get locked out or you forget your login. It's really, really important, and I can't stress this enough. It's really important that you write down your username and your password along with your security PIN, because if you decide, especially for those students that we have that are still in high school, if you ever decide to take more than one class at Rio Hondo, you have to keep reapplying every semester, which means that you'll have to fill out a new application every semester. You'll have to log back in with that username and password. So it's just best if you keep it in a safe spot. Okay, so the first page, this is what you guys should be seeing on your screen already. The first section is asking you for your full legal name. So go ahead and type in your first name. Make sure, I know this sounds silly, but make sure you're spelling your name correctly. Sometimes, you know, we type a little bit too fast and we miss a letter or we add an extra letter. So just make sure that your name is spelled correctly. If you have a middle name, go ahead and enter your middle name. If not, make sure that you check off that little box where it says check this box if you do not have a middle name, and then go ahead and enter your last name. One of the questions says, do you have a previous name such as a maiden name? This usually doesn't apply to you guys, so just click no. And then the last question asks, do you have a preferred name that is different than your legal name? If you click yes, you're going to have to enter what that preferred name is. Okay. And right after that, it's going to ask you for your date of birth. So it's going to ask you twice. So just to confirm your date of birth, make sure you're not making any mistakes on that. You're going to select the month, day, year, and enter that twice. Here for the social security number, if you do have one, you're going to go ahead and check off that little bubble after that statement, and you're going to enter your social security number twice. I know it's a little small on our screen, but you should be seeing it a lot larger on yours. You're going to enter your social security number twice if you have one, without dashes, just the numbers. Okay. For those of you that do not have it on you or do not have one, or you're a dual enrollment student, you're going to check off the box that's right below. Okay. And then once you're ready, you can click continue. So this is a little bit more blown up version. So if you have a social security number, make sure that you enter it. Oh, sorry, Tam, can you go back to the other one? Okay, so again, if you don't have that social with you, check off that box and then click continue. Okay, next, you need to enter your email. So again, this is a personal email, not your high school email. Preferably yours, not your parents', because sometimes, you know, you miss out on important information if you're having to rely on your parents' email. And then you want to make sure you enter a telephone number. It asks for a main number and a second number. If you don't have a second telephone number, don't worry about it. Just enter one telephone number. Extension does not apply to you guys, so just make sure you're including the area code before the phone number. Permanent address. So here you're just gonna check off the top box where it says my permanent address is, oh, I'm sorry. Don't check off anything. For the permanent address, just go ahead and enter your address. Make sure you're including the numbers first, and then the name of the street, and then the city, state, and zip code. And then click continue once you're done. So here's an important step where you have to make sure you're writing down your username and your password, and make sure you keep it in a safe spot on your phone or write it down somewhere. You're going to make up a username. Make sure that you're following the rules. So minimum 6 characters, only letters, numbers, and special characters, okay? And then for the password, the rules are a little bit different. It has to be 7 to 20 characters, letters, and at least 1 number, okay? Only. And then it will ask you to repeat your password.
Some students like to take a picture of this, and that works very well. So if you are like attached to your phone and you've saved all your information on your phone, you can take a picture of this as well.
Next is a security pin. So this is just any 4-digit number that you want to create. If you do ever get locked out of your account, they might ask you what's your security pin, just to verify that it's actually you and that they're giving the information to the correct person. So for any 4-digit number, and then again, you're going to enter this twice. Once you're done with that, you're going to select some security questions. You get to choose the questions. You have to type in the answer. And then once you're done with your security questions, you have to make sure you click, I'm not a robot. Sometimes it'll ask you, it'll show you some pictures and it'll say, click on all the stop signs, just to verify that you're not a robot. Let it load. And then once you're ready, click on create my account and you will have your OpenCCC account created. Let us know if we're going too fast.
Did you guys already were able to create your account now based on these steps? Feel free to use the chat box if you have any questions, or if you need us to slow down, or if you have questions for the reps about how to create your account. So we're just gonna go ahead and move forward with the actual application now. So keep in mind, as Monica said, that this account that you open for OpenCCC allows you to sign in and apply to any community college account. Now you're actually going to apply to Rio Hondo College specifically.
Okay, so you should have seen another screen in between just saying like, hey, you created your account, and then you just click continue, and then it takes you to the screen where it says start a new application. So go ahead and click on that. And this application is divided into 9 different sections. So we are going to go page by page. Again, I know some of you are still in high school and you're planning on doing dual enrollment. So when we get to the tab on the left that says education, please remind us so that we can address how your answers have to be different from an incoming college freshman, okay? So please let us know so that we can make sure to address that portion, okay?
And then as we go through the application, you're going to see these circles right here. And as they all fill up green, that means you completed this section, and that will allow you to continue to the next one, because you can't submit it if it's not all completed.
So the first question, again, this is going to vary, this is going to differ for our dual enrollment student, but if you are currently a high school senior and you're planning on attending Rio Hondo in the fall, you are going to select under term that you're applying for, you're going to select fall 2020, okay? If you are a dual enrollment student, so you're still in high school, you're planning on taking a class in the summer, you're going to select summer 2020, okay? So just make sure you're selecting the correct term. Under educational goal, it basically just wants to know what do you want to accomplish at Rio Hondo. If you're a high school senior, do you want to pursue an associate's degree, for transfer? Do you just want to transfer to a 4-year? So you'll see different options there and just select the one that's appropriate for you. And then the last section is asking for a major. So what is it that you want to study? If you know what you want to study, definitely mark that down. If you're unsure, just go ahead and select undecided. And once you're done with each screen, at the very bottom, you'll see that it says either save or continue. By clicking continue, it actually saves the screen and it lets you move on, okay? So just click continue every single time. And then like Tam mentioned, once you're done with a section, a green check mark will appear on the left-hand side. Okay, so now for the account tab on the left, this is just an overview of what you just created under the OpenCCC account. So just take a minute to review all your information, make sure you didn't make any mistakes. if you did, this is a time to actually correct them by clicking on edit account. Again, if you didn't enter your social security number at this point, it'll just kind of tell you like, hey, you didn't enter your social, but you can always come back to this screen to enter it later on, as long as you haven't actually submitted. Okay, so the next tab is education, okay? So the very first question is asking college enrollment status. So for the high school seniors that are planning on attending Rio Hondo in the fall, your answer has to be first-time student in college after leaving high school. Okay, so that's for high school seniors. If you are still in high school and you just want to take a college class to get ahead, you would select enrolling in high school and college at the same time. Okay. The next one, for high school education, again, for the high school seniors, you're going to select received high school diploma from a US school. Okay, so we put that on the screen. And if you're still in high school, this question was actually automatically answered for you. So it doesn't let you change the response. Okay, the next question, high school completion date. So if you are applying as a first-time college student, it will actually allow you to enter a date. So just go ahead and enter your graduation date. I know right now they're a little bit different. There's some changes to dates, but just go ahead and put you know, your original high school graduation date, or as long as it says like June 2020, you should be fine. The last two questions are a little bit personal. So go ahead and just take a moment to read through them and just answer them. Did you receive your high school diploma or certificate in California? That should be yes, but have you attended high school in California for 3 or more years? That's more of a personal question, so go ahead and answer appropriately. Okay, and then the next question, last high school attended, you should all be checking off I attended high school, unless for some reason you are homeschooled or any of the other responses apply to you, but for the most part, you will all be selecting I attended high school. You're going to select the country, so the United States, and then select the state. Most of you should be putting California, and then it's going to ask you to enter the name of your high school. So once you start typing, you'll see a list come up. So just make sure you're selecting the correct high school from that list. Okay, so in the example, it says Rosemead High School. And then the next portion is high school transcript information. So if you don't have your high school transcript on you, don't worry. This can just be an estimate. So the first question is asking at the end of 11th grade, what was your GPA? So again, if you don't have that information on you or you're not too sure, just go ahead and guesstimate. Just go ahead and put whatever GPA you remember having at the end of 11th grade. And then the next question is asking, what was the highest English course that you completed in high school? So again, most of these questions are only going to apply to those of you that are at least in 11th grade. So for sure, if you're a senior applying as a first-time college student, you will have to answer these. So for a high school senior, the highest English class that you completed, you can actually put 12th grade English, and you're putting your first semester grade. Okay, so whatever 12th grade English class you took, whether it was regular, honors, AP, ERWC, and then go ahead and enter the grade that you received first semester. The next question is asking, what is the highest math course that you completed in high school? So if you're currently taking math, you would put your first semester math class and whatever grade you received. If you're not taking math right now, then you would put whatever you took last year. Second semester, whatever class you took, and second semester grade. I know this is a lot of information, so again, just use a chat if you do have any questions.
Great, thank you, Monica. So we're going to talk about the citizenship portion of the application. So again, this applies to answer this accordingly as how it applies to you. So you need to put in here citizenship if you are not a citizenship or you're not sure, you identify as a dreamer, go ahead and just click on here. There will be a button that says other, and then you can click on no documents, and that will suffice for this requirement. If you have military, or if you are from a military background, you can select those responses accordingly as well. So residency questions, again, this is going to ask you, have your parents or guardian lived in California since the X amount date? So you just put yes or no. Any out-of-state activities? Most of the time, this answer is going to be no, but it is going to be based on your activity and your parents' activity. So just make sure you ask them and make sure you answer it as accordingly as possible, because if you just click on something and it's not valid to you, then you may have to provide extra documents to support this. So we definitely want to make sure that you answer it accordingly to yourself. So again, we also have special residency questions. So if you are homeless, emergency shelter, part of a youth basic center program, you can just answer those questions, or if you are a foster care student as well.
Just to chime in really quick, if you were ever in foster care, in the foster care system, or you're still in the foster care system, by checking yes, the college actually connects you with a program that we have on campus. So it's really important that you self-identify, because we won't know otherwise, and we won't be able to connect you with those programs that will provide additional support. So if you were ever in foster care, you're currently in foster care, the program is called Guardian Scholars. So by clicking yes, someone will be reaching out to you.
Thank you, Monica, for the clarification. And also, I do want to clarify that for the special residency categories question, it talks about being homeless in the last 24 months. We do have a special program for our homeless students, and the best way for them to identify the students is that if they self-identify via this application. So if that situation does apply to you and you click yes on it, then we can go ahead and the Student Life and Leadership Department can reach out to you and connect you with those valuable resources. So now we're going to talk about the needs and interest part of the application. So it's going to ask you what is the language that you're most comfortable in. If it's going to be English, you click yes or no. Financial assistance, this is going to ask you if you're interested in receiving information about money for college. A lot of students will click yes. As a first-time college student, you are going to be awarded the free tuition as long as you complete all of the form matriculation steps, which we'll talk about later. But this is just also an ability for us to gauge your interest. And then also, if you have received any of the following assistance, the TANF, the CalWORK, Social Security income, or general assistance, you can answer that right here as well. So then the needs part, okay, so then now the athletic interest. So we do have sports on our campus. And so if you are interested in participating in one of those sports, you can say yes, there is, but these are more for just intercollegiate sports or intramural sports, or you can just say no, you're not interested in participating in a sport outside of taking a PE class. If you are interested in an actual competitive sport, then we do want to connect you with one of our coaches that can help you, give you the resources for those sports that you're interested in. These are all of our programs and services. Please feel free to check as many of them that you are interested in. Interested in. And then when you check them, these departments can reach out to you, but just know that if you forget to check them or you're not sure, our departments, our student services departments do a really great job of outreaching to students. We have fairs, we have events. So this is not the only time that you can acknowledge if you are interested in any of these programs. So this one is going to be the demographic part. This is where you're going to put in your gender over here. You're going to put in your parents' information as well. You can put in unknown if you are not sure. It's fine. You can answer this however you feel most comfortable. And then you'll go to your race and ethnicity portion over here. So the last part of the question is going to be the supplemental questions, additional interest. Again, you can put in as many as you want, but these do not limit you, or if you don't check them, that does not mean you can no longer participate in these programs, because this is not a comprehensive list of everything that we have available on our campus. So this is just an opportunity to gauge your interest, but we do have a lot of outreach events that will allow you to connect with those areas of interest later on. And then we do want you to review your application, because the challenge is once you submit it, especially if you don't have your social security number and you submit it even though you do have one, then are gonna, admissions and records will ask you for follow-up information. And it can be kind of challenging to get to, especially with a lot of departments being closed at this time. So we do want to make sure that you review everything as accurately as possible. As Monica mentioned, we really want to make sure that you put in your name correctly, because if, for example, you misspell your name and you spell your name differently on your FAFSA, or you have two last names on one application, but your FAFSA only has one last name, it's going to create a lot of challenges when we want to merge those accounts from your high school to your college application to your FAFSA. So please keep those consistent so that we can make sure that all of your records get merged in appropriately. After you review your application and everything is good to go, you're going to click on these two consent buttons based on how you want to release your information. Does not have any impact on your application. It's really just a personal preference. So just feel free and answer it as accordingly as possible.
Yeah, don't feel pressured to like finish your application right this second. We're just trying to show you all the screens. We still have plenty of time left in today's workshop. We have a little bit more information to give to you. So if you're kind of keeping up with us, that's great, but don't feel like you have to submit right this second. Please use the chat if you have any questions regarding any of the tabs, okay, that we went over.
Yes. And lastly, we will ask you to submit your applications after you check on these consent boxes right over here. You declare that information you provided is accurate, it applies to you, that you understand federal guidelines and financial aid programs, forms of grants. And so once you read these check boxes and you click yes, you can submit your application and do a little party dance.
So what comes after you submit? So once you submit your application, which will be hopefully today, later on today, Rio Hondo will send you a welcome message right away, just letting you know, thank you, you submitted your application for fall 2020, or maybe it'll be summer 2020. But right away, you'll get an email confirmation knowing that your application went through, okay? Then you will get a second email, which might look kind of similar, but at the very, very top, you'll see a set of numbers, which is your Rio Hondo student ID number. And then right below that, you'll see Dear and then your name on it. So this email is extremely important because it contains not only your Rio Hondo student ID number, but it also has your username and your password for Access Rio, which is your student portal. The student portal is what you will be using to register for classes, to add or drop classes, to view your final grades, view your transcript. So all of your school business will be conducted through Access Rio. You will also have your own email account through the college, and that's what you will use to access your email as well.
You can also link your email. You can link your Rio Hondo email to your personal email, so you don't have to toggle between two different accounts. And we can show you how to do that later on. There's a video on it. And if you'd like, we can send you directions on how to view the video.
And there's been a number of students who sometimes don't receive the emails, who don't get, maybe they're not checking their spam, or it just wasn't sent through. Please feel free to reach out to your outreach representative, one of us, because we can always give you that information. We could eventually get it for you and help you along the way.
Yes.
Very important. Thank you, Martin.
Sorry, good, Monica.
Oh, so again, just going off of what Martin shared, that is very important. So if that does happen to you, please feel free to, again, reach out to your Rio Hondo rep, or make sure you take a picture of this screen. Reach us. You can email us at outreach@riohondo.edu. You can give us a call. Make sure that you are following us on Instagram because we are posting important information on a regular basis. But definitely, if you don't get those first two emails within the next few days, please reach out to us so that we can see what's going on.
And to conclude, we do want to share with you the next step. So this is going to be applicable for students that are joining us as freshmen full-time students for fall 2020. Wonderful. So as these 4 steps mentioned, this is how you're going to qualify for the Rio Hondo Promise. As a lot of you may have heard, we are the first community college in LA to offer 2-year free tuition. So after you have hopefully submitted your application by end of today, then we will reach out to you and encourage you to do an online orientation, which you will access through your Access Rio account. It's a 30-minute YouTube video, which will allow you to orient you to the college campus, understand college policies, rules, and how to access our different services. And then you will do a placement tool. So as opposed to having to take a placement, you may have heard in the past, we now have you do a placement tool so that you can go ahead and be placed into the appropriate level, college level coursework. We no longer require remedial coursework. So it's just whether we need to put you into a supplemental English class to go along with your English 101, or we find you the appropriate math class based on the educational path that you want to take. And then lastly, we want you to be connected with a counselor, because now every student has an individual educational goal, major, interest, and we want to make sure that you're able to get the right classes to put you on track to make sure you graduate in a timely manner. After you complete those 4 steps, then we can help you register. So as soon as you complete them, you can register. Students can do within a day, 2 days, depending on how long it takes them to go through the steps. But we are registering for fall 2020 right now. So in order to get the classes at the best time, the best classes that you want for your schedule, we do encourage you to complete these steps as early as possible. Do you guys have any questions? Monica.
I know this might have been a lot of information for you guys. So again, we're going to put our contact information in the chat. So if anything does come up along the way, I know it might have been a lot to remember all the 4 steps or all of that. So we'll put our information in the chat. Once you get that Rio Hondo ID number, then you can move on to the rest of the steps, which is the online orientation, the placement tool, and so on. So please feel free to just send us an email and say, hey, like, you know, what's my next step? And we'll go ahead and send that to you or give you a call, whatever works best for you. So we'll go ahead and put that in the chat so you can save it, take a picture of it, and along with our phone number.
Yes. So Valentina, we just want to check in with you. Were you able to get started on the application? And then I think I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so Valentina was able to get started.
Okay.
Were you able to submit it, Valentina, or did you need help with anything? Awesome. Okay, so she went ahead and submitted.
Wonderful. Jenny, I saw that you joined us. Welcome, welcome. Were you able to get started on the application or submit the application? Wonderful. Well, this is great. And Jenny, are you a first-time college student with us? Or are you a current high school student taking dual enrollment enrichment courses? Wonderful. So we look forward to having you in the fall. Make sure you complete your FAFSA. So if you have not done so already, it's still open. We want to make sure that the sooner you complete it, the sooner you get awarded the free tuition in addition to any other grants that you may qualify for. And if you need help, just feel free to let us know and we can connect you to the the Student Success and Dream Center, and they can help you with the application as well. You're very welcome. So do you guys have any other questions? No questions? Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today. We are glad that you were able to complete this application. Once again, you should get your contact information within the next 2 days. And then after that, we do encourage you to reach out so that we could help you finish the rest of the 4 steps in order to qualify for the free tuition. So thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great rest of your day. And this video will be available to share. So in case you Jenny and Valentina have any friends or relatives you know that wanted to go to college and they weren't sure about their process, and you can always share this video with them, okay? Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Jenny's having some issues with her access video, so I'm just trying to help her.
Okay, yeah, I'm still talking to Valentina, sorry.
Okay.
Let's not close it. Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
The counselors from Almani received the updates regarding dual enrollment, right? Even if they weren't at that meeting?
I don't know if Wyatt
should've-
shared it with them.
Okay.
So
I'll ask them to connect with Miss Ochoa. So
yeah, I don't know if he did, but I know I shared it with everybody that was at the partnership meeting.
okay. Yeah, I don't think she was on that call.
No, I think it was only like a handful of admins from each.
Yeah. Okay, Valentina. So we'll just make sure that your counselor is aware of the new process for dual enrollment, okay? She gets all that info.
Yeah.
You're helping Jenny, Tim?
Yeah, I'm helping Jenny real quick.
Okay. I think that's it.
That's it. Okay.